WLRN 91.3 FM is licensed to the School Board of Miami-Dade County, Florida, and serves a weekly audience of more than 500,000 from Palm Beach to Key West. It is ranked #1 in the state of Florida among NPR stations. WLRN Public Radio and Television is committed to being the most trusted source of information and entertainment in South Florida's diverse community.
Hi, I'm Bernadette C. I'm the television station manager at WLRN. I've worked here for over 25 years, and I'm familiar with most of the production roles, running camera, doing audio. I was an editor. I rose in the ranks. I was a television director and TV producer. Now, in my current role, I'm the TV station manager for WLRN Public Television. I oversee all things television. That includes the television program schedules for 2 public broadcasting stations. We also provide instructional television support for Miami-Dade County Public Schools. We also provide education services for the South Florida community, and parenting workshops and teacher workshops for the parents and teachers to use our public broadcasting children's programming to help kids be ready to learn as they enter school.
Who was born in 1896, was a pioneering force in the establishment of public broadcasting in the state of Florida. She served on the Dade County Board of Public Instruction for 18 years and was a pioneer in the efforts to desegregate schools. And Miss Myers was one of the first women lawyers and was a founding member and first president of the Florida Association for Women Lawyers. She was also instrumental in the establishment of Miami-Dade Community College and the Baker School of Aviation.
We do it 24 hours, 7 days a week. Now, we do not have people in here 24 hours, 7 days a week. They come in, they tape. They would sometimes tape 2 weeks in advance because they're going on vacation. And the machines, don't ask me how, are loaded up, and there are the tapes, and they just go on running and running 24/7 from 8 o'clock live on the, live is at 9 o'clock. And till 9 o'clock the next morning. That is Saturday, Sunday, 7 days a week. It's a magnificent service. We run it on a shoestring, I can assure you, because I've just been doing a lot of work here. And I welcome anybody who sees this, who thinks they would like to have a go. Give us a call at 305-995-2218 and speak to Mario.
Hi, I'm Peter J. Mertz, Programming and Operations Manager at WLRN Radio. Known around here as Peter J. When I first started in radio, I was a volunteer here, and that was in 1991. And I started off just as a volunteer helping out with various tasks. I actually had called up the program director at the time and had a lifelong interest in radio, and I said, I'm willing to do just about anything to get some experience in radio. He said, well, why don't you come down and we'll talk, and we did, and I started helping him out to produce a weekly business program here at the station, and then not long after, I was assigned some other tasks to do as a volunteer. I was interested in learning about everything I could. In those days, you edited on reel-to-reel tape using razor blades, and used cart machines, which looked like 8-track tapes. Nowadays, everything is digital. But I picked up as much information as I could early on, and then had the opportunity to record a few voiceovers for some of the underwriting announcements that we have on the radio. And then not long after that, was invited to host a jazz program, to take over for a departing host of the weekly jazz program. At that point, I decided that my last name, Mertz, which had proven difficult for people throughout my life, would not be good as a radio name, so I adopted Peter J., and that's how most people still know me around here. So it took quite some time to get to the position I'm in now as Programming and Operations Manager. From volunteering, I was hired as a part-time operations assistant. Then some years after that became an operations coordinator, then what was called an operations specialist, and then about 6 or 7 years ago now, I was promoted to be Programming and Operations Manager. The two elements of that title, of course, are programming and operations, and I can simplify that by saying that the program manager is responsible for everything that comes out of the radio. That includes what our announcers say, how they say it, of course, what programs we have on the radio, and the whole tone of the station as is heard by the listener. The operations part of it is just being certain that everyone and everything is in the right place at the right time. And that pretty much sums that up. I guess people sometimes refer to it as making sure the trains are running on time. And a typical day varies widely. There is really no set chronological order of tasks that I take on during the day, but there are many things in my capacity as operations manager that come up during the day that need to be taken into consideration. I may have to assign a studio to be used for an interview. I may be called upon to check on something that's not working properly, a piece of equipment. I'm not an engineer, so I can't do detailed electronic work, but somebody might say, why am I getting no sound on this microphone? And I'll be able to figure out it has something to do with the way things are set on the equipment that the people are using. I may have to file reports on the equipment we're using. I'm responsible for the budget of equipment that's bought for the station, so a day may find me doing purchase orders or check requisitions for equipment that we need. And in terms of programming, it's not so much of a daily job as it is a long-term strategic job, just looking at the way things sound on the radio and making decisions about programming, and a lot of those are made based on audience data that we get from a service called Arbitron that finds out what people are listening to, basically, and provides that data crunched in all kinds of ways, from whether it's males and females who are listening, how often they're listening, what shows they listen to, and that gives me information I can use to make decisions about what programs we want to have on our air and how people are responding to the way we sound on the air.
You've no doubt heard about night arts, but you may not know that it's changing the face of our community. We invite you to sample the many ways that night arts is infusing our community with creativity and exuberance. Internationally renowned percussionist Willie Stewart recently visited Lake Stevens Middle School, where he presented his Rhythms of Africa music program. Willie was the drummer for the famed band Third World for 23 years. He's convinced that young people will thrive through keeping the rhythm alive.
Drums, everybody has a heart, everybody has a rhythm. So I figured that within this project, we could take children who has never played music or had a chance to be exposed to music. Because, you know, to me, music makes the whole child.
Willie Stewart has been able to bring the culture and history of African music to children with the help of the Night Arts Challenge. It's an initiative that's working to actively engage the community through innovative arts projects.
It made me feel like I've learned a lot, because some of the drums that he told us about, I didn't know where they came from. I thought they came out of Africa, so I didn't know that you could use like common household items to make music.
Music is but one way that Night Arts Challenge is infusing creativity into our community.